Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Take a Seat with G. We're back in the studio. It's been a little while, but we're back in the studio, and I'm here with a special guest. Okay, I've been wanting her on my couch for a while now, so I'm very excited to introduce you to Leila Dey.
Hey y'all!
Thank you so much for taking a seat with me. Welcome on the couch.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy.
Yes, I'm happy to be here too.
Yes,
it's been a long day,
right? It's been a long day, a journey. If you know the journey she's been on today, we've been on journeys this week, this weekend, and we talked about it off camera. But I'm so glad that we're able to be here today and just taking this moment.
Me too.
So yeah, I have some good questions for you, and let's get into the tea. Okay, so for people who just are discovering you right now, how would you describe yourself at the moment?
Ooh, like today, like right now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm an artist. I'm an R&B artist, but I'm also very funny. I think a lot of people don't know that, like, I love to joke around. I love to laugh. I am sarcastic.
Okay.
All of my friends are like, man, like, I actually don't know when you're joking. Like, I can't tell the difference between when you're joking and when you're not joking. Because, like, sometimes I say things and I'm just like, I'm being serious. But, I would say, like, who am I today? I am a creative, just really trying to find my way. I'm just digging myself out of a little bit of a creative slump, I would say, but still feeling very motivated. But yeah, I would just say just working through it. I don't know. Yeah.
Both of us. Okay. We're trying to figure it out, both of us, okay?
Yeah. That's honest. I don't know. That's honest. Yeah.
What do you think people misunderstand about you the most?
That's a good question. That I can't be led. I really feel like because I'm such an assertive woman that I don't need leadership or I don't need help. I would say that.
Okay.
Like I've run into a lot of interesting conversations with people, and sometimes people are like, oh, like you don't really look like you need help, or you don't really look like you're struggling, or you don't appear to be in need, if that makes sense. And so I'm always taken aback by that because I'm just like, what does that look like? Or what does that mean?
Strong black woman.
Right, exactly. This strong black woman theory. And before I didn't feel like I was like under the guise of that for a lot, but very recently I'm feeling that very heavily, especially when I am in need, or I am in need of leadership or assistance or mentorship or any of those things. And oftentimes I get like the response of like, you're good. Like, just keep doing what you're doing, or continue to do this, or, you're going to work it out and stuff like that. And it's like, no, actually I need some help. I need some help.
I need a lot of help.
Right. So I think people kind of misunderstand me in that sense, or misjudge that I don't necessarily need the support.
And I don't like that.
Me neither.
As a creative, as an artist, I really don't like that.
Yeah.
I feel like I would say, even for myself, when I first started out doing this stuff, I was like, what do I do? Where do I go? Where do I start? And it's like, you really just have to throw yourself out there and try to figure it out. And I wish that there was a bit more guidance or help. People that are not people, some people are going to tell you, yeah, they're willing to help, and they know that it's the beginning, but they're trying to like profit off of you at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I would find, even now, sometimes I'm like, it's very hard, but now I had to narrow it down where it's just me and my brother, because you bring in people before and it's like, they don't either understand division. So they say, yeah, I could help you. And they're slacking in sending you your content. You got to tell them what to fix. And I'm like, but isn't this your job? Like, don't you do this?
Wow.
But it's like, if they're helping you, they're like, I don't care about your project like that.
Yeah. That is a real thing as well, where like people are not as passionate about the thing that you are doing. And I think that's kind of frustrating. I've been taking like a couple of steps back very recently just to kind of realign and refocus and, gain some motivation, and also just like to live life a little bit. And one of the things that I really do appreciate about the team that I'm cultivating now, or have been, or some of the people that are around me, it's like you have to be amongst people who understand the vision and what it is that you're doing. When you're not, it just feels like walking in mud. Like it's slow, right? What you're trying to do as a creative, what I'm trying to do as an artist, is to create momentum. And like, if you just think of the word momentum in itself, it's like if you're running 100-meter dash and somebody is like holding on to you with a string, you're not gonna get as far as you need to. So, you know, it's really just that idea. And so if the whole entire team isn't on the same mindset, mentality, understanding that, like, you know, this is where we need to go, this is maybe sometimes what we need to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of has to be down for it, and everybody has to work at the same pace, or be able to motivate someone else to pick up the pace, you know, so many different things, then you're going to have a difficult time. So I do really appreciate, and I think, you know, what you were saying before, it's like you have to find those people, a part of your team, who if you're going to say, hey, you're going to be a part of this team, we all have to have the same understanding and mindset that, you know, this is how we're going to work. This is how it's going to work. You know, if you're doing what you need to do, I'm doing what I need to do, we can create some type of momentum. Yeah.
This is why I don't like working in groups.
Yes.
I've had the worst experience with group projects, and I'm like, I know I could be I have a strong character, so I'm very passionate, and people take it as maybe aggressiveness, but I'm like, clearly you're not as passionate as I am, and I have a temper, so I could get very, first of all, overstimulated, and frustrated if you're not putting in the same amount of work.
Yeah, it will be frustrating.
I choose sometimes, a lot of times, not to work in groups.
See, I'm going to give you advice right now, okay?
Yeah.
Because not from a place of judgment, because I literally was and still am like you, where I'm just like, if I want it done right, I need to do it myself. And though I still believe that, I also believe wholeheartedly that you just have to find your tribe. And that is what takes a lot of time, a lot of chipping away, a lot of refining and mining. Like, you have to find the people who understand your passion. And that can be difficult, because when you're around people who don't understand your passion, then it becomes very draining. And that's what you're experiencing, while you're like, I don't want to be with anybody. Because I've been there. And I think a lot of creatives have been in that spot, or are in that spot. And I did everything myself. I was like, and even now, like, I mean, to this day, you know, I'm like taking my own photos. I'm trying to edit my stuff. I'm trying to, you know, come up with the concept, come up with the vision, sing the songs, write the songs, like, do all of the things. And I'll say not in the end, but ultimately, I was feeling burnt out, and you're going to be burnt out. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, like, we can't do everything ourselves. That's true. You have to find the tribe that will allow you to alleviate some of that work that you're, you know, feeling in here and doing out here, and so that you can focus on what it is that you are best at. Yeah. And that's hard, because I don't trust everybody.
Girl, people have done me dirty. Yeah, and I fear, I'm telling you, dirty. Stay away from me. No, like, for real. I fear people real bad now. Yeah. Because people will play with you.
Yeah, they will. They will play in your face. And it's so tough. It's so tough to, like, come back from those things and not be bitter. Yeah. You know, or like, or not be upset or angry, or it shifts the way that you think and interact with people. So I completely understand. But at the same time, I want to encourage you to continue to look for your tribe. My tribe.
Yes, I will. I will do that. Yeah. I will do that. Okay. So you've been in the music industry for 15 years.
More than.
Okay.
Yes,
more
15
than
plus.
15
we'll play for 15 plus.
Okay. Yeah. When did you start taking music seriously?
Yeah. Really, I was in high school. I mean, I've always been involved in music. I have a very musical family. Shout outs to my family. I feel like it's always been a part of me, but I guess what I'll say in terms of I guess, taken it seriously would be in high school. I connected with my bro, Julian, and his friend at the time, who has become my friend, Tim. And Tim had like an indie label called VDR. And we were just getting it out the mud, honestly. It was like we were in his basement recording. My bro, Julian, his other friend at the time, Folabi, but he went by Hakeem. We were just making music. And so we decided to create a song one day. And I was like, yep, this is the first single. And shout out to my cousin Phoenix. She was also writing for me at the time. It was like, I don't know, it just kind of became it came together very organically. I always knew I wanted to sing. I just didn't know how it was going to work out. And so I was introduced to being in the studio in a more professional manner and like actually figuring out how to get this song from idea to actual like fruition, to like, hey, here's your song, here's a CD that was created, here's a physical thing that you can go out, you can promote.
Yeah.
And that entirety is when I'll say like I was starting to do music. And I want to say I was probably around 16 or 17. Yeah.
Wow. So from high school.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
High school?
I
I feel like that's such a time when we like, we're just like, ooh, what are we really doing out here,
Exploration.
Like, yeah.
So that's good that it started from there. Like, you planted the seed, like you said.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, recently you went viral for your take on the Toronto music scene.
Oh boy.
On Threads and on Instagram. I want to take it a step further.
Okay.
As you were talking as what you were talking about applies, I think, for the whole of Canada, the music industry, and also
Creatively. So I related a lot. So I'm gonna read some of my favorites.
Sure.
my favorite ones of your talk, because every time I see Threads, I think about Twitter.
Yes,
so
I know.
I'm gonna read what I would say the tweets, my favorite tweets, and then we will get into that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So let's do it.
Let's do it.
So the first one. Everyday artists in Toronto are fighting to stay motivated to keep going, and it's getting harder to watch. There's so much talent here. Okay. And then the next one, the industry here doesn't reward the best, it rewards the easiest to package, control, and explain on paper.
Yep.
Okay.
Girl, I was
When you posted that, I was like, okay.
Oh boy.
You spend years perfecting your sound and still lose opportunities to someone who just checks the boxes this year. Everybody's a publisher of R&B acts until it's time to actually move R&B records. Agencies promise shows and throw you on a lineup that makes zero sense, and it's all exposure.
Yep. I stand on it.
Yeah.
I stand on it.
Some of the grant opportunities, feel like diversity reports and investments in real artistry. Feel more like diversity reports than investments in real artistry.
Yes.
Real? Girl. How many grants have I applied for?
Yes.
And I feel like they're just coming and collecting information.
Yeah. Again, I mean, I still stand on every single thing. I mean, I don't know if you want me to comment on anything, but yes, I wholeheartedly agree. The granting system here is tough, although it is incredibly helpful for up-and-coming artists. It's, at some point it has kind of lost its way, and now, instead of maybe what it was intended to do in the beginning, it's no longer that. Sometimes I sit down and I'm just like, how can we, what's the word I'm looking for? Objectively figure out, is this person talented? Okay, take it a step further. One, if this is a music grant, okay, we're not applying necessarily, there's business grants, there are, accessibility grants, there are other grants for other things.
Yeah.
But if this is a music grant, I think in the first question that needs to be answered is this music good? I understand that music is objective, but is this objectively good from whomever is judging it, right? There's just been many times where I've seen like, it's not about whether or not the music is good. And I'm like, this is a music grant.
Right.
This is a, I don't know, songwriting grant. For a songwriting grant, right? The songwriting has to be good, right? I mean, am I missing the point?
No.
I don't know. So, I would assume that if this is a music grant, a singing grant, an album grant, an EP grant, an EP grant, a single grant, like that single EP, album, whatever, should be good. And so, it's tough. Like I have to choose my words wisely sometimes, but it's like, it's tough seeing when you look at recipients of grants or funding and you're like, wow, that's interesting. How did that come about? And then, maybe somebody, especially in the Canadian music industry where it's extremely small, somebody mentions that like this person's attached to this person signed with this label, this person's under this management, and their manager works at said granting system or granting whatever, sits on said board, is a part of X, Y, and Z. And it's like, okay. So actually what I'm understanding is that this is actually not about the music at all. This is about who you know. And as much as I completely understand that the music industry is about who you know, it's tough, like seeing other artists, not just myself, but even other artists, like year after year after year, like apply for grants, really try to put a foot forward, really try to get themselves out of the mud. And it's like, ooh, that's tough. Like, will we ever be able to? Because,
Girl,
the grants just go where they go.
That's why I said exactly. I relate to a lot of things that you said because exactly that.
Yeah.
Where are these grants going to? Who are they going to? A lot of the times I apply to them, but then I already know. I'm like, I'm not getting this, even though I know it's bad to like move like that.
Yeah.
But it's always, who do you know? And I feel like you guys are asking for a lot of information.
Yeah.
Are you guys even taking in consideration what we're putting in?
Because you're making us apply to multiple of these things, but then you still don't feel considered,
I also want to say, like, more importantly, I do want to mention that, like, grants is not always going to be like, there's many grants that I've applied for that I haven't received, which is fine. I think one of the fundamental issues is like the access to the knowledge of how to apply for a grant, which is like really important to me. Like, we already know that there's just not enough funding in the world to supply everybody with a grant, right? And I would love to think that, like, in a perfect world, a granting body would love to fund everybody that has a dream to be, some type of artist. We know that that's not true. However, what is possible is the access to information that allows everybody to be on a little bit more of a level playing field around, like, hey, I'm applying for this grant. This is what I need. This is how, you get the information out. This is how and this isn't just about grants. So like, let's take it out of the granting system, but like, let's move it to any award systems, major award systems here, fill in the blank. But like, let's talk about what is the process in which one applies for this award. How do you get considered? What is the threshold that we need to be looking at when, wanting to be considered for any type of award or grant? Like, this information shouldn't feel gatekept. It's like everybody should kind of know how to
for days to find where should I get this information from.
Right. And I just feel like that's what I definitely have a problem with. And then the people who are holding on to that information are like, I have the information, but pay me X, Y, and Z, or I'll give it to you, but I need X amount percentage of what you got going on.
I already don't have enough.
Right. Like, I'm not, that's fine. Like, if you want to take 25% of $0, like, be my guest.
Yeah.
But, at the same time, it's just like, that is what feels very icky sometimes. And there are certain things I'm not of the idea that like certain things shouldn't be gate kept, but I feel like that access to information is definitely not one of them. You know, I've met artists who are just like, I didn't even know you had to apply for a Juno. You know, like sometimes some artists are thinking, hey, like I'm going to put out this body of work and they're going to see me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And no.
And that's just not how it works, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, let's go to the next one because I think we're getting hot now. We're getting hot now. Because so here, this is where I was like, girl, if I speak, I will speak from today till who knows next year.
Speak.
So, and support culture, question mark,
or lack of one.
people know what you're doing,
They're watching. They're watching.
Yep.
but it's like pulling teeth to get people to show up for some of our local artists that they say they like. Tickets almost always
Being comped.
Yeah.
I seen I didn't know that until I got into the industry that this is like a real thing. Like tickets could be as low as $15.
And someone will still be like, hey,
Do you have a comp ticket
Yeah.
for me?
Yeah.
What the hell we do? What are we doing?
You know, I could also talk like from sun up to sundown about all the things. Like, the thread that I put out was really just from like a place of frustration, but there's just not enough characters in order to like really explain in depth what is actually transpiring. And so, yes, it started a lot of conversation online, but like when I think about just my experience being in the industry year after year, and not just from me being like an artist, like from my peers, from some of my friends, from people from all walks of life, people who are, I would consider extremely successful, to people who are like up and coming and, you know, just trying to figure it out and get it out the mud. And when I say there's definitely like, we created this culture in Toronto. And when I say we, I'm including myself. Like we created a culture in Toronto where we kind of feel like art shouldn't be paid for, or we shouldn't pay for it. And I'm not sure when or how that kind of transpired, especially from, let me rephrase, especially from like Canadian artists, or if we know this person, if we're in close proximity, like we should just have full access.
Right.
And we don't really have to pay for it because, I know, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get me in, like, and so what happens is we create a culture of like never training our listenership, our supporters, our fans, whatever you want to call them, to pay for things and to create value, monetary value to things, so that we don't have to necessarily rely so heavily on a granting system, right? I often hear, the cost of living in Toronto is high. It is. It's extremely high for all of us. And I think what I say to that sometimes is like, we all decide what we want to spend our money on, Like, even though you can't pay your rent, somehow you find a way to go and do the things that you want to do. And I don't want to call out,
Go on vacation.
Right, to go and do this and go and do that. And you know what I mean? So we all decide, and I'm not saying, decide all the time. You can decide. I'm just saying we need to like put a little bit more emphasis on the importance of paying for art and culture in Toronto, so that artists are not so heavily reliant on grants, and building a community. Like, building that community that feels strong, where it's like, if I never got another grant as an artist in the city, like if I never got another grant, I should still be able to be an artist. Yeah.
Afford and do what I want to do.
Just live. I'm not asking to be like, multi-billionaire, like off of everything. I'm just saying, like, I should be able to do what I do as an artist if I never received another grant, because of the support of, the infrastructure and the support of the people around me, and not just around me, not necessarily friends, but music.
Yeah. And I'm going to end it at this one. Support isn't just vibes. It's tickets, repost, telling your friends, and showing up
For the cosign.
And this is what I'm going to say.
To people watching, to my own friends. Because I see this every day. And I'm not coming for all of them.
Right.
But a lot of y'all. I know what y'all do, what are you guys are doing. You guys are waiting for the cosign to support me. And I see it and I hold my tongue all the time because I don't want to be that bitter person.
Yeah.
But I hate it.
Yep.
I hate it, and I don't know what it is and what it's going to take for you guys to help
A friend?
to just repost. Because I'm not saying that none of y'all do it, because I do have my
Tribe.
Yeah, your core
that
audience.
does it.
Yes.
But some of my friends
Yes.
that love to hang out
With me,
Yeah.
don't even repost my stuff.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I never really understood that. You know, I'm not going to hold you. Let's get kind of real right now. I never really understood that. Because, like, on my timeline, I saw something that someone said, like, immediately when I'm scrolling, if it's somebody that I know and they are, you know, they don't even have to necessarily be promoting anything.
Right.
I'm already double clicking.
Immediately liking.
Right? I don't even know if it's controversial. I don't know if they're talking about somebody's mom. I'm already pushing like, and then I'll listen.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, there's a process to it, and it's just kind of funny because, like, there's just some people automatically, like, you know, when you're in a space and you're like, I can't really listen to this right now, but I'm just going to like it or repost it anyways.
Right.
And, like, you know, hope that it's nothing crazy. But I'm just doing that automatically because that feels to me like what community is about. Like, my friends, you know, shouldn't necessarily have to ask me. And to be honest, they say, like, your friends are not your core audience. Don't wait for them. But I do feel like like, as people that are surrounded by me, you can make a difference. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You don't have to like everything I do.
Yeah.
We don't like everybody's music.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
facts.
But hey, Drake posted Ice. Simple Ice. How much people reposted
Right.
that? Simple Ice.
Not waking up, going downtown to go stand on
Simple Ice. People that reposted.
Yeah.
People that
reposted. Simple Ice.
Yeah.
But if it was you posting
Ice, would your friends repost that?
No.
They'll say, what is she doing?
You know, it's funny. It's just, this is such a controversial topic all the time. And, like, I'm not going to go back and forth with a lot of people online. So that's why I've just let it be. But for real, like, I think there's a lot of things that, you know, that I've seen that I find to be so funny. Because people are like, oh, you're wishing Lotto a happy congratulations on, like, you know, having a baby or even being pregnant. And, like, you don't even know her. But, like, your friend over here is doing X, Y, and Z, and you still can't, you know, or happy birthday or whatever. But I find that to be funny. Parasocial relationships as an artist, even for, like, me, myself, I think are just kind of interesting. A very interesting concept. Yeah.
Even today, especially what's happening with Clay and Megan.
Yeah.
How many girls that I know are going in Clay's comments and threatening
Riding. But would Megan ever do that for you?
Riding for her.
It's not even if Megan would do that for you, but would you do that for your friend? Yeah.
Because they wouldn't. They say, hey, I don't want to get involved in your mix-up.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. And I think, like, you know, hopefully we can just shift the culture a little bit. That's really all with the, you know, going back to more of, like, the threads and the frustration. It wasn't necessarily to point the finger, like, everybody's so effed up here. Like, I know people think that, like, I'm saying that. It wasn't necessarily to point the finger. I think we have a lot of, you know, things going on that we need to address and actually talk about. You know, as Canadians, we're always so like, let's
peaceful.
Right, keep the peace. And but, like, I think it was more to try to help figure out how to shift the culture and the conversations and the access to information and all of the things. Like, how do we shift it a little bit where we can shake some shit up? Like, here's the bottle, like, shake it up and maybe try again, roll the dice again, and, like, let's try to make things happen. Because mainly also, like, in an era where, like, AI is really taking over, you know, we're gonna see a lot of our favorite artists, like, trickle away, fall off the map, and be done. And we're just in an era right now where, like, human support is so important. You can literally make the difference between somebody, you know, just being a very extremely local artist and somebody becoming a little bit more global or international or whatever. Like, you literally can shape that now. Before, back in the day, 80s, even the 90s, you know, early 2000s, it was up to a label to get global marketing, global support, global reach, let's say.
Yeah.
And now we do have that with the internet. And
so many tools.
And, like, I really do fear that, like, if we don't appreciate the artists that are in this city right now, we risk losing a lot of good talent, and we've already kind of overlooked. I'm not even going to say risk losing, but we've overlooked a whole bunch of extremely great talent in this city.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, for real. So let's turn the page.
You know, because this conversation could go on
forever. I know.
Well, let's turn the page. So you recently performed at a Canadian not-for-profit called
Sounds Good Work series,
where you performed First 48.
Yes.
Love the song.
Thank you.
What did that moment mean to you as an artist?
You know, shout outs to Sounds Good. It really just meant showing up for them as a new organization in the city, trying to shift the culture, as I spoke about. And then also just showing up for myself. One of my favorite things to do is to just sing, and like not as curated as I usually like it, and put together as I usually like a show, and you know, we're doing backing tracks and whatever. This was literally an acoustic set, very intimate, very small vibe. I had the chance to connect with like my day ones is what I call them, but like my, you know, some of my biggest supporters. They come out, they get to see me in a more like intimate space, and I get to spend more time just saying hey. And like I even tried some new music at Sounds Good and got really great response. So really this space is just like a really kind of like full circle healing space where I was able to just go back to what I knew, what I started with, kind of like dive bars, open mic, if you will. It's not an open mic at all by any means, but like just that vibe of just like that organic, real, natural singing that, you know, I just feel like we don't necessarily have. So, I really appreciated, you know, Sounds Good for reaching out to me. Shout outs to Amber. She is incredible. Yeah, she's just like, you know, trying to do something different in the city. Shout out to Dee, like just trying to do something very, really cool in the city and giving people quality content that they can post, and also uplifting the people who sound good. So yeah.
The good music. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So shout outs to them.
Yeah, that's nice. I love it. Because when I seen it, I was like, okay, girl.
Yeah.
And I seen another girl on there that I know. So I was like, this is amazing. You know?
Shout outs to all the artists that have been on there. Like Orit was on the same show as me, but previously to that was like Rochelle. Yeah, Rochelle. Yeah. Like just, you know, just good music, good artists.
Yeah.
And I think they're trying to, you know, really build it up. Not trying, they are going to build it up to be a really good staple in this city.
No,
so
I love that.
Yeah, I was really honored to be one of the first few.
You know, I love that.
Yes.
And I love
what Amber is doing, even with the festival that she did. You know, I'm trying to be like Amber, child.
Yes, period.
I'm working
we all trying to be like Amber.
On it. Live events are gonna come.
Yeah,
you know,
I love that. Amen.
Amen. For real.
Did that performance feel different from usual shows? Like you kind of did say that. It was a bit different. Like, did you approach it differently though?
Yeah, completely differently. You know, this show was just about connecting with the audience that was in front of me. Approached it completely different because I just had, like, there was no backing track. And so this is just us raw off the floor. You know, there's no auto-tune, there's not a lot to work with in terms of just like what would be a really clean and put together performance. This is like you directly, into the mic. Shout outs to Suho, shout outs to O'Neill. Those were the musicians that accompanied me, and usually, you know, all the other artists kind of just bring like a guitarist. So it's really stripped down. It's like if you've ever seen like Tiny Desk, it's very similar. It's very similar setup. So yeah, I had to approach it very differently. I like when I have like the ability to also do a smaller intimate crowd or like sit down, because then I feel like I can do more of like the slower records that I have that are very groovy, that are very R&B, that really live in a slower tempo and kind of allow me to sing more as opposed to perform or entertain. Yeah.
Okay, so you did mention backing track, and I want to actually kind of get into that.
Yeah.
Because I love going to concerts. That's like my thing.
Me
but
too.
I don't enjoy when artists use backing tracks and not a live band. I'm a live band kind of
Okay.
gal.
Yeah.
What do you prefer?
I love a live band.
Okay.
I love live band. I love live music. So I'm completely 100% with you.
Yeah.
I will give you some insight from the artist perspective
Yes,
around
please do.
why some people
Yes.
might not be using backing track. I mean, might not be using live bands.
band,
So depending on who that artist is. So for example, a lot of openers, you don't get the ability to use. Yeah, it's the budget, but it's also like a setup. So I don't know whose concert you went to, but let's just throw it out there because Cardi B was like here. But let's just say, okay, Cardi B, you're going to Cardi B's concert. She has an opener, and the opener has come out, and they're like, you know, in front of a stage. Maybe not Cardi B, just because Cardi B is doing like stadiums.
Yeah.
Let's say let's use Ari Lennox. I love her. Okay.
Yeah.
So Ari Lennox is on tour right now. She has an opener, Laycon, incredible artist, right? Exactly.
I'm going to the
incredible.
concert just to see him.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you see Laycon, he probably won't have live band. Okay. Because Ari's setup behind the curtain that he's singing is like already put
done.
there, and her tour and everybody on, like, tour manager, her band, her setup, they've already set the stage for Ari, who is the headliner. And so it's not feasible. It's not also like, for time wise, it's not easy to like take down one band setup and then put another band setup, etc. You know, customers are always complaining. Consumers
yeah.
and, like, you know, are always complaining that like they're taking too long. We've been here since 7. Why I don't see them until 9? Like, so many things happen behind the scenes that have to be in alignment in order to get to the point of seeing that artist. Let's say Ari Lennox. So, you know, while most people, I want to say most people, most R&B artists, most artists in general probably want to use a band.
Yeah.
It's just, there's a few things. 1, setup. 2, cost. Band is not cheap.
Because if you're going around the world, you got to bring them with you.
Band is not cheap.
Yeah.
Let me just say this into the camera right quick, whichever camera this is. Okay. Hey, if you're a promoter or whatever, you're doing a show, and I love that you love live sound. If you don't have live sound money to pay the artist, please ask for a track. Because it just doesn't make sense. Don't come to me asking, like, hey, can you do this show for like $250? But can you bring your guitars, your drummer, your bassist, you know, the glory of God? You want me to bring everything for $200? No, boo. So, you know, live, I say all that to say live does come at a cost, you know? You don't just show up and it's like live. There's an audio engineer, there's sound that you have to account for. You know, there's instruments. They don't just appear. People have to, like, you know, bring their drum kit or their, you know, their keys and stuff like that. So it really is a process. And it's one of privilege. I'll say that. Like, it's one of privilege. So I love a live setup. It's not always going to be possible, but I love that you also love a live setup.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool when you get to see an artist with track first and then they evolve into like having.
And that has happened. And I was like, this
Is amazing.
Yes.
Like, you just, I don't know. When I hear live music, I don't know. Something just happens to me. And I'm like, I like the song better now.
Yes.
Like,
Wow.
I
know that feeling.
I don't know. I think it's because I'm just like a music person.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up
in music as well.
like, I used to sing. I was in the church, so I'm
Live is already
That's
there.
what it is.
I grew up
church.
Rooted in live.
you know. So even when we're like,
We're singing now, we're interpreting the songs that we hear to perform it at church. It's like a different vibe.
Absolutely.
You know what I
It's
mean?
always different.
It's a different
The
vibe.
live interpretation is just so
So much
incredible.
I think it's so much
It's something
better.
magical.
It is.
so when I see that, trust me, I don't know. Sometimes it's like, damn, I could cry. Like, this is so good.
Yes.
Like, this is so good.
I know that feeling
Yeah.
so much. Wow. Yeah, I agree.
So when I go to a concert and then sometimes I see, like, you know, artists that are pretty big. I'm not saying that it's their fault, but I'm like, you could have had a live band. It could be,
Production or promoters where they just want to cheap out and do that.
but like, again, from where I come from, Congo, all these artists have live bands.
Yes.
So you want them to come out
move,
here,
yeah.
they gotta bring their band.
Exactly.
Like,
And so
Funny is-
immediately, right. So
Funny is a
immediately
great
it's like,
example of it.
exactly. Like, let's say like that's why the cost starts at like $10,000.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because, you know, like with 4-piece band and we have to get hotels and we have to get flights and we have to get, it all adds up. So I think sometimes people, that really goes over people's heads, are just like, please, can you just come and play? Like, I can't ask my drummer, who, you know, has a whole entire family, does music full time, and even if they didn't, but it's like, hey, can you just come and play for $50? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
if you
it's a joke.
like if you went to work for hours on hours and you're like, hey, can you just play for $50, or can I just pay you $50 and you're at work, and like, I'm not coming back. Yeah, I'm not coming back.
No,
so
I hear it. I hear it.
It's tough, but I do 100% agree with you. I love the live sound.
Yeah,
it's so special, and I think, you know, that's what I would love to be able to get to, where I only have to bring my band and I can afford to do band each time, because it is so special, especially for like R&B. But you know what's even more incredible? An artist that, like, if I go to your concert, you don't have band, and you captivate me.
Just like that. I'm sold.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
You give me a show and it's a track, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Because I have to see it with band.
Right.
Now. Yeah.
No, I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. Okay. So you were also on the radar in New York.
Yes.
So yeah, tell me about your experience, and how did that experience compare to performing back home in Toronto platforms?
Yeah, I mean, On the Radar is cool. Like, I mean, I love expanding my artistry beyond Canada. Realistically, you know, my core audience is not in Canada. As someone who does more, as someone who does more traditional R&B and contemporary R&B, like, the core R&B audience is not in Canada, right? It's going to be elsewhere. In the US, obviously a very much easier market, and then in the UK, exactly. And even now, like, what's been blowing up really interestingly enough is, like, South Africa has a really cool, like, R&B thing happening, where, like, R&B artists can go there and get a lot of support. So yeah, it's just not here. So anyway, but the point is, I really enjoy times where I can go elsewhere and just, like, expand my artistry beyond Canada. And On the Radar was that opportunity for myself and Tome. It's always cool being in New York, one of my favorite places ever. And then
I love New York.
Yeah, I mean, hustle and bustle, like, everyone's just hustling all the time, and I think being around that just motivates me.
It does.
All on its own.
Yeah.
I can't deal with the rats, but
The rats be ratting.
Those are
like cats. I don't know.
No, for real, like,
huge. But
I can't. The rats be ratting. That's so funny. But yes. But anyways, I love New York. I love Brooklyn. I love, you know, Harlem. I love Bronx, Queens, everything. I've been going since I've been a child. So I always love when I can go to New York, and for music as well. So On the Radar was really cool. Just a great experience, and a platform that, you know, really does reach a really broad audience. So I was very excited and happy to be able to share my music on there.
I love that. No, when I seen you and Tommy was also one of our guests.
Hey.
So I was so happy.
Yeah, but when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, period. The girl.
Yes, the girl. Yes. We did our thing. Shout out to Tommy.
Yeah. When you listen back to your own music right now, what do you hear about yourself in it?
When I listen, growth. When I listen back to the music, I think that's one of the main things that I also look for, is like, am I growing from each body of work? Maybe not from, like, single to single, but, like, am I actually being who I feel inside, like, internally, which is an artist that explores different, like, sounds. That is, like, I'm always going to be R&B, but, like, I want to be able to hear something, maybe, like, be inspired by it, and then intertwine that into what I have going on, whatever that is, my sound. But, like, it's kind of how All Yours came about, where that's not, like, it's not a typical R&B song, right? But was very cool to, like, feel inspired by some Amapiano vibes, by, you know, Afro vibes, to be inspired by Bali funk, and, like, putting that all together with R&B, which is what I do, and then, you know, collaborating with Tome, who's just, like, an incredible artist all around, just, like, from writing and singing, and so, like, diverse in what it is that she does and how she kind of emulates and sees music. It was very cool to be able to like, you know, create with her. So yeah, I think when I hear my music, I want to hear growth. I want to feel like I was true to like whatever it is I was hearing or feeling or experiencing at the time that the song was being created. And yeah, I don't know. I just, when I listen back to my music, sometimes I'm just like, I feel like I don't, when I put the music out initially, I've already heard it like 100 times, or 100,000 times, to be honest. And then I put it out and I'm like, okay, the song is out, right? But I want to learn to like sit in it more, where I'm like, oh, this is good. Like I want to be able to appreciate it a little bit more. Cause like I'll go back for records and I'm like, oh, girl, like, yes. And I kind of love that feeling. And I'm just like, what happened? Like, why didn't I fuck with this song? Like more in the moment, you know? So I think maybe I just want to like, I want to get to a place where I'm appreciating songs way more in the time that I'm putting them out. Yeah.
Okay, I love that. What's a vibe you haven't tapped into yet, but you want to explore?
I mean, there's so many vibes. I feel like maybe like adult, contemporary, I would say like hyper pop. I don't know if I've really tapped into that yet. I don't know if that's really me. I haven't done anything like country, but also I haven't done anything hyper sexy. And I think that is also like, as I grow into more of my womanly self, I think that's like interesting. It's going to be an interesting place for me to kind of explore that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not hypersexual. And so I'm not hypersexual in the way that I like present. And so I just feel like that would be a very interesting, like, when I look at other people in the industry or even other artists and stuff like that, I'm like, wow, I love that for them. Like all the girls who are just like tapping into that, you know, that piece. Yeah. And I don't think I've really been there. I think I'm at a place now where I'm like, oh, I would explore this more. But before I was like, hell no.
Yeah.
Like, y'all better respect me. Like, you know, and I still feel that way, but I just don't see it the same way where it's like, oh, this is not about like respect or it's about even self-love and expression. Yeah, exactly. So I think I would say that. I mean, there's a lot of things I haven't really tapped into, like topics in music, or even more like just becoming way more personal. And the music is something I also want to do, like life topics, concepts. I don't know if I'm making sense, but essentially. You are. Yeah, I think there's so much more. All I'll say is like there's so much more that I want to tap into. Yeah. So like there's a lot of vibes.
More coming. I love that. Okay, what's something people expect from you musically that you might switch up? Ooh.
What's the question?
What's something that people expect from you musically that you might switch up?
That I might switch up, like no longer do?
Yeah, like, or you might, you know, hit us with a curveball.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think rap.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I can feel the vibes. I could see it.
Okay, it's because, you know, it's funny. It's because, like, when I first started doing music, I went as PG, and I was rapping and I was singing. And so, if you know, you know. Everybody knows. Not everybody knows, but the people who know PG,
they knew about PG,
know that I can rap. And
so, you give me the vibe.
So sometimes when I'm doing, you know, my singing stuff, and people will be like, "Can you just give us one verse?" Like maybe I'm deciding if I want to. Yeah,
I feel like you could slide on a Doechii beat.
And I love me some Doechii. Yeah. Shout out to Leo.
Yeah. I feel like you know, it's giving that. Like, I don't know, when I look at you, I can tell. You couldn't tell me that you can't rap. Like, I wish I could
I had
rap.
to brush up, you know, I'm a little.
I wish I could rap, child.
Girl. I feel like everybody can rap. But it's more about like, can you write? Are the lyrics and can you, and is your flow, you know?
Yeah.
Bless.
I'm gonna stay away from that, child. Okay. And lastly, where do you feel like you are right now in your journey? Like, what phase are you in?
I would say, I mean, if I'm being really honest, I would say I'm in a healing phase. Like, there's been things that, like, I feel like I have a little bit of hurt from just like industry stuff here, where I'm just in a healing phase of just like, hey, instead of allowing that hurt to turn into like bitterness or anger or no longer being motivated or not wanting to support, because I feel like sometimes in Toronto, like, we get upset with the monsters that we create. And what I mean by that really is like, we outcast people, they go out into the world elsewhere, let's say US, UK, whatever, they become successful, and now we're like, let's attach ourselves to these people that we didn't necessarily help elevate out of the city. And then we attach them like, yeah, they're from Toronto, or like they're, Canadian, and we love that, and blah, blah, blah. And then those people are reluctant sometimes to kind of like come back and maybe build infrastructure. Some of them are reluctant to help build other artists. Some of them are reluctant to even be here, right? And so
It's real.
And so then we think that they're like bitter, or they're not willing to help the Toronto music scene, or, they're not willing to help the up and coming people. And it's like, well,
When I was here.
yeah, like, I don't know. I can't really speak for those people, but I feel like also, why not go where you are celebrated?
Where you're loved.
Where you're loved, where you're, valued. And then when I'm valued over there, why would I come back to where I'm not, like where I wasn't genuinely loved and celebrated, and
It's like, just jumping on the bandwagon.
Right. That's tough. So that's also a really tough thing to kind of grapple with, because I'm sure all of those artists love Toronto.
Yeah.
Like, I love Toronto. This will
Trust
always
me,
be my
love
city.
Toronto down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a love-hate relationship. But like, I love Toronto for real, and it's like I love being here, and I love the things, like the things that we do right really well. It's just like we still have some growth to do. We still have some things to learn, some infrastructure to build, and all that kind of stuff. So I'll say, yeah, for the most part, it's tough, like wanting or seeing artists like leave and then expecting them to come back and support, and not necessarily being bitter about it. And I don't really want to be that artist. So
Me neither. I don't want to be that creative.
I don't want to be that creative. I want to love my city. I want to be able to support them. I want to work through it. I don't want to sit at no round tables if it means there's not going to be any change. Yeah, like that's a big thing for me. Like, I'm not really into the lip service type of situation. But if there is like actual tangible change, I am so excited for that. And if part of those threads started that in some way, shape, or form, I'm extremely humbled and happy that it's starting some type of conversation. But I would say that, like, I'm just in a space of healing whatever kind of wounds or qualms I have with how things are going industry wise here, before I step out into the world again and be like, okay, hey.
Yeah. No, I feel
That's
that.
what I'll say.
Yeah, no, that was a good finisher. I love that.
Yes.
But we have a playlist.
Okay.
What are 2 songs of your own that you would love to add to our playlist? And we will add them to the playlist.
My songs,
Yes.
Leila Dey songs. First 48.
First 48.
I'm gonna go with like the most recent, even though I want to put a new song, but I'm gonna tell you that when that song comes out. But I'll say First 48 and All Yours, featuring Tomei.
2 bangers, period.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Well, there you have it, guys. Leila Dey has just taken a seat with G. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope that you guys made it to the end.
Yes.
But please like, comment, share, subscribe. Leila's information will be down below. For the listeners, it will be in the description. But yeah, support
Yes.
Toronto artists, support Toronto creatives, support your own local creatives
your
wherever
friends.
you are at, your friends.
Yeah, support your people.
Okay, support your peoples. Don't wait for the cosign, because literally you could be the cosign.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. Let's make it happen, child.
Period.
Well, thank you so much for watching. And thanks so much for tuning in.
Yes.
I'm so happy.
Hey.
It was a good one. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.